this probably is going to be something, Cody, that we probably will never know,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they're only going to want us to know what they want us to know. So
Yeah.
who knows?
But it's when I know that that's the thing that yes, they want something we want us to know, but you're not giving us anything. And you continuously decline to make comments to clarify things.
Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Sealum.
Cody, a lot has happened in the Iowa State sports world, so we have a lot to cover. So let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
Once again, women's basketball is just the drama continues as now Audie Crooks is the latest player to hit the transfer portal.
Yep. Buddy Crooks, in an announcement on Instagram earlier today, announced her intentions to enter the transfer portal. Try to find her kind of announcement or whatever. Okay, so in her letter announcing her intentions to enter the transfer portal, this is kind of what she said. In case you haven't seen it yet, I mean, I'd be surprised if you haven't, considering how big of a name Audie Crooks is to Iowa State. But this is the official kind of post that Audie Crooks put to announce her intentions. Cyclone Nation, thank you all for embracing me and showing up to Hilton every single game day. I've met so many of you out in the community, and I will cherish all of the genuine connections that I've built during my time at Iowa State. Words cannot fully express how grateful I feel to have called this place home. I want to thank my teammates for their friendship and all the great memories. To my coaches and all the Iowa State staff, thank you for always supporting me. I still believe the grass is greener where you water it, and I've done that here. It's why I want you to hear from me directly that I've decided to enter the portal and explore what it means to take root again in new ground with love and deep gratitude. Always, Audie Crooks. So the biggest kind of thing here, obviously, Audie Crooks, there's no doubt, she was probably the biggest name in the state of Iowa in terms of college athletics that's currently enrolled in college. So there's no doubt her value and what she brought to Iowa State. It measures not just what she did on the court, but off the court, just with the contributions that she's done. And obviously being a Iowa raised kid from Algona, I mean, this is one that really, really basically I mean, the team already as a whole, I mean, we already had 9 enter, but everybody was so waiting to see what Audie Crooks does. And to see this is kind of this feels like a really big blow to Iowa State's already depleted roster.
Yeah, it definitely is. She was the face of the face of the program
Mm-hmm.
at that, and had a national type of presence to her. So I mean, her going to probably maybe a UConn or maybe a South Carolina, who was always on TV, is maybe somewhere where I could see her going. Obviously, there's Iowa too. I don't know if she'd go there, but
I've considered Iowa, but I feel just because I think Iowa already has Ava Hayden, and with
Mhm.
the type of play style and the role that Ava Hayden plays in that system for Jan Denson, I just don't think she would fit there because that would cut into Ava Hayden, and I feel obviously Audie's limitations may be a detriment to Iowa, so they probably won't.
Yeah,
One team I have, plus with the star power they have, I don't know, but maybe a TCU if she just does decide to go in conference. I've seen that get thrown around. UConn, South Carolina, I don't know just to start. I feel I don't know. I mean, she's certainly gonna have a lot of options considering she's probably
yeah,
her and Addie Brown are definitely the two of the biggest names in the transfer portal.
definitely.
So they're gonna definitely have a lot of teams interested in them, and a lot of teams would kill to have the players that produce at the rate Audie does and her presence down low. So she joins a list of 9 actually. Well, it was originally 10 players out of Iowa State, but we actually learned earlier today also from Talia Goodman, who reported both Freya Jensen's moves. Originally, Freya Jensen was originally in the portal, but Freya Jensen has decided to withdraw her name from the portal. So, I'll take it, honestly. It's not much, but it's honest work. So as of right now, the women's basketball team, at least the roster, we'll know more obviously when the players come in from the portal. As of right now, the roster for Iowa State consists of Ariana Jackson, who announced her return earlier this week. Evangelia Polk, who also announced her return to Iowa State. And then we still have Macy Comito, the commit for Iowa State. So she's still committed to Iowa State. So at least you have 4, you have 4 players coming back. And obviously we'll have to see what Iowa State does in the portal. But this is a big blow to Iowa State and probably the state of Iowa as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the way that this roster was constructed, you thought that the last 2 years they were primed to go on maybe like a Sweet 16 run, but for some reason they ended up bowing out in the
The first
opening
weekend.
round, the first weekend,
Yeah.
which is pretty unacceptable for that type of roster.
Mhm.
But now you only have 4 players, so it seems like a lot of fans are wondering, like, why a lot of people want, Bill Funnelly to be put out, apparently, and then we see this statement from Jamie Pollard for today on men's and women's basketball.
Mhm.
It's just been a whole entire circus
Yeah.
today. What are
Yeah,
your
I
thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I've actually got the summary of the basketball update video that Jamie Pollard Iowa State Athletics put out. This is from Keith Murphy, like a long time, like a local host here in the state of Iowa. So I always love listening to what Keith Murphy has to say. So this is coming from his tweet about the summary of that video. Pollard praises the recommitment of TJ Altenberger and the success of the men's basketball program, and that acknowledges that. But the main crux of it, obviously, is going to be the women's basketball program. Jamie Pollard in that video pointed out the sustained success for Bill Fennelly's team, 15 NCAA tournaments in the last 18 years. Pollard also added the portal exodus happens to other places too, throwing a shot at Iowa, which I was kind of confused about. But anyways, mentions that student athletes do transfer for many reasons: playing time, probably like NIL, like homesickness, other things like that. And then also kind of does a tongue-in-cheek question about like why doesn't Bill Fennelly retire? He basically stated about that regard that his quote is his loyalty and his success has earned him the opportunity to finish his career the right way, which basically tells you that Bill Fennelly is returning to be the head coach of the Iowa State women's basketball team next season. Obviously, that's got people up in arms. There also was a statement made by Bill Fennelly himself, basically like reiterating that he is staying, like he's returning to be the head coach of the women's team next year. And I mean, statements come out, but then you just hear the uproar. Obviously, some of the people who have been like against Bill Fennelly, like in the past few years, who wanted him gone, were kind of not happy about that. And then Tommy Birch of the Des Moines Register actually goes and reaches out to both David Paul and Bill Fennelly for like comments or like whatever, and they both declined. And this has been an ongoing theme with not just women's basketball. And this is where I'm gonna go on a tangent here. I've made a tweet about this. I'm sick and
Go
tired of
ahead.
like athletics as a whole, just doing these vague like making these vague comments and not being transparent. This is a problem that I think a lot of places have is there's no transparency within this like realm of college athletics, especially in the NIL world, because at some point you want to know where exactly your money is going. If you're spending your money for athletics, you want to have clear transparency from the people in charge where it's going. And I'm tired of it. And maybe this is just obviously being like focused on Iowa State, but it just seems like there never is transparency within Iowa State athletics. It's like it's blanket statement after blanket statement, whether it was kind of football or what the whole gymnastics thing is going on. That's still a thing that's going on, and nobody still really knows the clear answer to it. And then we've got this whole like situation that's been brewing for the past like few weeks now with the women's team ever since they bowed out of the tournament. So this is ridiculous. Like I'm getting sick and tired of it. Like I'm tired of it. Like
It
can we
makes
just
no
be
sense.
transparent, please? Because the longer you let this like settle or boil over, you're not gonna like be able to appease anybody at that point because you're not being
Right,
straightforward enough. So you don't give like clarity what's happening, and you just let people fill in the void of what's going on here and here. Like people are gonna come up with their own opinions. And
right.
I mean, to think this all tracks from a Reddit post that I saw when that somebody put up like a Reddit post that I saw on Twitter, and now
Mhm.
that's come true. Now I got people thinking, oh yeah, this guy, whoever posted this on Reddit, he has owed some apologies from people. And like whether that's right or wrong is whatever, but this whole thing is ridiculous, and I'm getting tired of all the blanket comments. And for you to decline like making comments about this when this has been a big like this is a major situation, that is concerning to me.
It's very concerning. It seems like they're hiding something.
Yeah, this is what it feels like. It feels like they're just not coming out. They're not being straightforward with what's going on, and it's ridiculous. And I mean, people on here have been asking for Bill Fennelly to like go and like to retire because and this has been a stagnant like program. Yes, he has gone to the tournament consistently, which Pollard mentioned, but like going to the tournament, yeah, it's cool, but they've only made it out of the first weekend like once in the past 15 being in the tournament. And that was the year that was like Ashley Jones' sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. And then they get blown out by a like like they get blown up by Creighton, who was what, a 10 seed, I think, that year.
Yeah, in the Sweet 16, I remember that. Yeah.
Like, this whole thing is just, I don't know. Like, this thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this whole entire thing develops, and, like, this probably is gonna be something, Cody, that we probably will never know,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they're only gonna want us to know what they want us to know, so
Yeah,
who
but
knows?
it's when, like, but, like, I know that, like, that's the thing that yes, they want something we want us to know, but you're not giving us anything, and you, like, continuously decline to make, like, comments to clarify things.
Yeah.
That's the part that gets ridiculous because it feels like whenever, like, and this is, like, too, what happened with gymnastics, whenever people reached out to, like, the athletics department for comments, they seem to decline it. This seems to be a reoccurring theme.
Yeah, so, like I said, something is happening behind closed doors, and, I mean, it since like I said, I think keeping the fans in the dark about this when now we're in an era where the fans are gonna be, like,
They they have
giving
a
money
level of
to these
influence, yeah,
programs?
because yeah.
Yes, they do.
'Cause when, like, cause donors, like, what why would they wanna donate to a program that won't even tell them straight up where your money is going to? We
Facts.
Because I think that's what Iowa does, who, for some reason, Jamie Pollard, like, kinda took a shot at. That's kinda ridiculous. Is like, Iowa, they're fine. Like, comparing apples to oranges is basically what I got out of that. Like, the shot at Iowa, like, made no sense, and obviously,
Yeah.
how? Like, Iowa's not losing their entire roster like Iowa State is, let's be real. So, that was out of nowhere, and rightfully so. Like, everybody, like, the Iowa fans, like, they have a right to make this look like we look like a joke because 'cause we're shooting ourselves in the foot continuously with this. And I mean, also, it's like people, like, obviously we have still people calling for it, but people calling for Pollard's job too.
Yeah, and it's been a whole situation. People have been calling for his job ever since Matt Campbell left,
Yeah,
way
and
back
the
in
whole
December.
side town thing when it comes to, like, finances too, like, that has been, I don't know, like, I think it's everybody's like, we're all making fun of, like, the side town thing, but it feels like that has to play a role because the whole side town project, I feel like that has played some role into this, like, financial situation, but overall, this is not, like, exactly like, this is what, like, all I ask for is for transparency. I ask for
Right.
transparency from the athletic departments. Like, if I'm gonna be like, because, like, when you don't do that, you start losing those donors, and you ask for the support, and there's only so much people can, like, tolerate when it comes to their money. They do want some ROI. They want a return on their investment, and if you don't give them that consistently, they're gonna stop donating to you. They're gonna stop giving you money, and guess what? You're not gonna have money to pay, like, these players.
And then you're really gonna be in the dark ages and wondering why, like, no one's
Yeah.
coming to games or anything like that.
Yeah, and this is not taking away from what Bill Fennelly has built, there's no doubt about it, but it's just these last, like, few years, the underachieving has just it's soured fans in a way.
Yeah, 'cause it's just like we're pouring into this program, and this is what you're giving us?
Exactly. Yeah, there's only so much, like, a donor could take before they put their money elsewhere.
No, definitely. Alright, Cody, I think we've talked enough about that. Right now, we're gonna go into our men's basketball report card. Basically, almost every show in the Iowa State hemisphere has done one of these type of shows, and Bleav in Iowa State is joining that wave. I guess, like, for you, Cody, when you look at the season as a whole, what would you give the grade of it?
I'm somewhere between B and B plus.
Yeah.
Because I think there's no doubt, like, getting off to that like, the start that they did, what was it, 15-0 or 16-0?
Yeah.
That's a great start, no doubt about it. You have your obviously, your signature, like, you have some really good wins, like, you looked really good out in Vegas, walloped Purdue at Mackey Arena by 20. You beat Iowa at home, coming back down double digits, and then you get to Big 12 play. I mean, you compete, like, you beat the tar out of Kansas in your building, you beat Houston all within the same weekend. That's the defining part for, like, this regular, like, the Big 12, like, for conference play. That's probably, like, the 2 games I define most. So you have that, and but you also had some real stinkers, thrown in there. The loss at Cincinnati, which, I mean, that turned out to not be, like, I mean, at the time, it was not a good look, but, I mean, what Cincinnati, I guess at least they beat Kansas by, like, double digits at Allen Fieldhouse, so kinda feel a little bit better about that. But you then, like, you find yourself, I think you stumble at BYU after the Kansas Houston stretch, where Milan was basically a net zero on offense. You then lose to Texas Tech without JT Toppin at home. I mean, if you're like a team like Iowa State, no matter what team comes into your building, you should be protecting your home court. No excuse to drop any game in your at home. Then you do rebound from that with a solid showing in Kansas City. Wins against Arizona State and Texas Tech. You competed with Arizona, and I mean, you literally lost that game. A deja vu to Caleb Love with a Jaden Bradley pull up J from the mid range where Killian Torrey couldn't do anything more on defense without fouling him. So you feel fine
Yeah.
about that. But then, and you go into the NCAA tournament, you lose Joshua Jefferson literally 3 minutes into the first round, and Iowa State looked pretty good. Like they looked like a new team. They looked really good without Jefferson against
Mhm.
Tennessee State and Kentucky. But then in the game against Tennessee, that second half, you put up like nothing. Milan got shut down. You were just like out rebounded, out physical, down low, and you lose by double digits. For a team that had Final Four national championship aspirations, that is a disappointment.
It is.
So, I mean, if you look at the whole picture, I would say it would be a B and a B plus. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the B plus because you also have to consider you played the entire tournament basically without Joshua Jefferson. So you try to do what you could, but you ran into Tennessee and that was just a bad matchup. So that's what it is. But it's a pretty good season. It's another case of the what ifs, and that seems to be a recurring theme with Iowa State athletics, and especially the men's basketball team. I mean, we have the Niang broken foot. You've got the Chris Babb ankle injury, and probably some other injuries that's gone on, and it feels like in a way Iowa State basketball is kind of snake bitten.
Yeah, we talked about it on Monday's show how we possibly think that the what or that just Iowa State could be cursed or whatever. Which I don't think it is. It's just that we were not able to go over the hump. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I probably would say my grade for the season is going to be a B. There's a lot of good things I liked and saw, and how Torrey and Bateman came along in the second half
Hmm.
or in the season. They end up being huge producers for us. I also will say that some of my favorite uh, parts of this season was definitely Mackey because we were literally coming off of Matt Campbell leaving for Penn State, and we needed a pick me up, and the basketball team did just that. And then Valentine's Day weekend of just literally like with KU and Houston winning both those games, and well, one of them in dramatic fashion, other one in a blowout. Like that Kansas one was so glorious, and then you drop BYU and you drop Texas Tech, a game you shouldn't lose at home, but you still end up probably um and and with that you go down to Kansas City, put a good showing there. And then you're in the NCAA tournament and you destroy Tennessee State. And I remember making that post game show at what cost. Unfortunately, it costed Joshua Jefferson the rest of his entire season because even if we would have won against Tennessee, it would have been a mountain climb to beat Michigan. So I mean, and by the way, Joshua Jefferson's talking, he probably wouldn't have even played anyway.
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
mean,
we
it
saw what Michigan
stinks.
did to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yikes. But I mean, yeah, but I mean, you talked about the development of some of the players like Bateman Torrey. Dominicus Blada also developed, and then Blake Buchanan was also a pretty solid, like he was a solid five for us. He had
Yes,
his
he
moments,
was.
and then obviously the year that Milan had, like shooting 50% from three in the regular season. But
Mhm.
you still saw like at times he gets shut down, and he's not really able to beat like those NBA type of players. We saw it
Yeah.
against Tennessee with their defense. We saw against BYU with AJ DeBonsa. So I think that's something too. And obviously, Milan declaring for the NBA draft, like obviously that's going to be something to consider. I mean, under the presumption, at least for right now, I would presume
Yeah.
that he is coming back because he's probably going to the draft to really get feedback and see like where his draft positioning is. Because like I mentioned on the last show, unless you're in like the lottery, you're not necessarily going to get paid like as much as you would if you came back to college because there's reasons why you have these like these G League guys coming back like college because of the bag, and also some of these players that like could have gone to the NBA stay in college because of the money that's given to them in college. So
Yeah.
I'm just yeah. So I'm thinking yeah. So overall beat, and also we didn't talk about this. I mean, we knew about the J.R. Blunt going to San Diego, but I think it was after our show. It was like Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
Kyle Green is officially headed to Cedar Falls to take over the Northern Iowa men's basketball head coaching job, replacing Ben Jacobson, who was now at Utah State. Kyle Green, I feel like this does make sense because I mean his son AJ Green is a Northern Iowa legend,
Yeah,
the jersey retirement. So this feels like a good fit. So I'm really curious to see where like this coaching staff, like, where does TJ get his assistants from? I think I saw two names. I don't know who
yeah,
exactly tweeted, but there were two names. One had been an assistant with TJ when TJ was the head coach at UNLV. The other was, I think, is like from Wisconsin. I don't remember exactly. I
yeah,
think he might have been with TJ while TJ was an assistant under McDermott Hoiberg, if I'm not mistaken. But those names to look out for sure. And
yeah,
I'm really curious. Like, well, I mean, we talked about this in the portal, but I did see one name get like, well, this isn't coaching; it's more like players we bring in for the portal. I saw one guy's like a couple names that got mentioned. One of the guys that I saw like kind of in like Iowa State group chats was the Bradley kid, the 5'9" kid. Um,
interesting.
yeah, I saw like one of his stat lines. He put up 30 points and had like 6 steals. So we kind of have that. But obviously, some people like argued, oh, he's too short, being like considering he's 5'9". You're like, he's too short. We need like length and all of that.
If he can ball, he can ball. It doesn't matter how tall he is.
Yeah. And I mean, he basically is like, he's literally like Tame and Lipsy essentially. With what I like, when I saw his stat line, I was like, that's literally Tame and Lipsy. Yeah. So I had to go find that. But, I mean, I would see like, for sure that so two I think it was, let me see, so Carson from, I remember, let me see, from NDSU. So a guy from we have one of the guys, Carson from NDSU, I don't remember the first name, but, could potentially look there. One of his, one stat line I'm looking at, 29 points, 7 rebounds, shooting 73% from the field.
Yeah,
Johnson, the kid from Bradley, 35 points, 7 assists, and 6 steals. And that was the game against Evansville. So I don't know if you're familiar with Johnson from Bradley.
yeah. No, I should be interesting to see what the coach or what the assistant coaching search will be like.
Yeah. And like we just like some names that we threw around. I also threw in some names too. Uh, Anthony Robinson the second from Mizzou what is a name that got thrown around in some group chats, and also Isaiah Harwell from Houston.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
But also Buffalo guard, David Friedag. Not many of you heard this before. Guy goes from we bring in a guy from a guard from Buffalo,
I heard that before.
and also he's a 4-star. Okay, so he began his career at Wisconsin. Yeah, 6'2" sophomore Daniel Friedag averaged about 20 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, and about 4 assists per game.
That's very impressive. Maybe he'll get maybe the
And I believe, yeah, he was recruited by Iowa State out of high school. So,
okay.
yeah, so Minnesota guy, so that could be something that I'm kind of like obviously, when the portal opens up after the national championship, I think we're gonna be seeing more, like, names come in for Iowa State.
Yeah. So now with that, we are going to take a look into spring football. Cody, we have seen just the social media page going crazy for football. We just saw Coach Bobbitt, Jesse Bobbitt, mic'd up at practice. And so it's been fun to watch, man.
Yeah, I've been, like, looking into that, and, like, for sure, like, this is, like, one of those things where obviously no one has any idea what's gonna happen, but I think right now we're just along for the ride to see what we get, but I think I do like what we have thus far in, like, these, spring ball from Coach
Yeah.
Bobbitt. There is a spring showcase that will, be taking place, like, that it's open to the public. The spring showcase is set for Iowa State. It will take place Saturday, April 25th, 10:30 a.m. So this was posted ironically on April Fool's Day, which I got scared for a second. I was like, "Oh no, is it?"
You're like,
Yeah,
oh
so this
no.
is yeah, so in the press release, the Iowa State football program will host its spring showcase, the first under head coach Jimmy Rogers on Saturday, April 25th. This event is open to the public and will be basically kind of a open practice for fans to get their like first look into the new team. Fans attending the event will be directed to park in the lots north at Jack Tri Stadium. So basically the old tailgate lots where we would tailgate whatever between Hilton
Yeah.
and Jack Trice. For those in attendance, seating will be available on the east side of the stadium. So that is the side facing the RV Village. The
Yeah.
northeast and southeast gates to the stadium will open at 10 a.m. And football posters are also available.
So if you are going, make sure you get a football poster. Um, I mean, we go back into it. We go back into just talking about spring football, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing, like out of the team, man.
Yeah,
Because it's basically Cyclones against the world because nobody is giving us a chance. Mainly just because we just came out of like a decade of knowing what to expect with Iowa State.
right.
Now in a new regime, we don't know if it's gonna succeed or not. So
Yeah.
we got to be able to trust the process.
Jeez. Some habits die hard. Did you see? Okay, so this is like, did you see what? So this is, I think it was like, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about Penn State, but this is kind of hilarious that so they put up like a thing in their press room or whatever. It's like the code of conduct, whatever.
Yep.
Doesn't it look oddly familiar to something you've seen before?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I have the image here. If I can share, but basically we've seen this before, and I mean this is kind of hilarious. The Nittany Lion Code of Conduct, ladies and gentlemen. For those who aren't able to see the
My
image,
goodness.
so this is just good God. Okay, so those who are not like on the stream, seeing the photo, this is basically what the Nittany Lion Code of Conduct reads. First bullet point: I can always be heard saying please when asking for something. Second bullet point: when given something, I will always say thank you. A third bullet point: likewise, when someone says thank you, I will say you're welcome. A fourth bullet point: to politely interrupt, I will say excuse me. The fifth bullet point: I can always be heard saying yes sir, no sir, or yes ma'am, no ma'am to my parents, instructors, coaches, advisors, managers, trainers, etc. Sixth bullet point: phrases such as good morning, be safe, how are you, and have a great day are all part of who I am. And this is the kicker. I am the respectful Nittany Lion. Doesn't that sound oddly familiar to you? And
Same months in the sacrum.
oh my, yep, somebody actually like an Iowa State account actually posted that directly under the replies. And this,
Man,
I don't know. This is just kind of hilarious.
it is pretty fun. I'm not gonna cap.
It's just funny when like you're not the ones being subjected to it.
Right.
But I am kind of curious to see what is like. Maybe part of me does kind of want to follow what's been going on with like Penn State, just, at least for this year. Like I don't really care what happens too much with Penn State, but it is kind of funny to just follow like what's going on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I'll be keeping tabs,
Yeah,
of course, but
yeah. But it's not like our main attention. But I
right.
mean, if we want to go like from Iowa State, this has been something. Texas Tech has found themselves in a bit of a sticky situation with the Brett Yormark. So Brett
Yeah.
Yormark, basically, Cody Campbell basically made a comment that, like, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but basically made a comment inferring that Texas Tech runs the Big 12, and then Brett Yormark kind of like he basically collapsed back at him, and
Yeah.
those two have basically been going back and forth, and it's clearly kind of like been like a big talk within the Big 12 space. And I mean, I guess, yeah, this is so trying to find. So I found an art. So I'm reading the article here from Connor Becker of Heartland College Sports. Friday night football minute law, Texas. Well, actually, let's see. Cody Campbell basically put out a tweet saying, apparently Brett didn't get the memo. Everything runs through Lubbock. Maybe we should bring the tortillas back. So that was kind of the tweet that Cody Campbell put at like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I saw that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it looks like those two. So, and I mean, this is kind of in response to to the Big 12 potentially shifting Texas Tech's home opener against Houston to a Friday night. And if you understand Texas football, Friday night lights are reserved for high school football. So it's kind of like religion for them down in Texas. So it's clear that Cody Campbell was a bit upset at that. And I mean,
Yeah, and
despite
there's been discourse from Big 12 Twitter all day calling Tech the new Texas now. So
yeah,
I was
I
like,
mean,
the more things are different, the more things stay the same.
yep, and I think there was some, like I did, like, see this, like, thing about, like, be like, a New Year's Six,
Yeah.
bowl kinda thing. It was kinda hilarious just seeing that photo. So, basically, so this is from, like, some dude on Twitter, Shock Dude or Shock Boy Max. This is a screenshot. It basically reads, "Have you won a New Year's Six or a BCS bowl?" So, there are 6 categories for, this one. There is, yes, we've won a New Year's Six bowl. That category consists of Oklahoma State, Houston, TCU, Baylor, and UCF. There is, yes, we want a BCS bowl. That is the Kansas schools, Utah, and West Virginia. There's the third category of we want a major bowl pre BCS era, which is the Arizona schools, Colorado, and BYU. There is the fourth category of no, but we at least score points in one. That's Cincinnati. There is a we want a COVID New Year's Six bowl. That's something which is obviously Iowa State. And then there's one in bold that says no, and it's just Texas Tech. So I mean, I don't know, like this whole like thing, Texas Tech. It's like, yeah, you won the Big 12. That's great. It's about time you did. But the showing that you put in front of like the national like stage, that was an embarrassment to just not just you, but to the conference as a whole. You had one job in that game, keep it competitive, but no, you proceeded to lay an egg and crap all over yourselves for 60 minutes while you let the ducks run all over you. And so, I mean, it's, I don't know, like this whole like Texas Tech, man, like, can y'all just, you won the Big 12, but you didn't really do anything with it. So, whatever. But I am like, so, but I mean, this does kind of like the Big 12, this does kind of like talk into like the schedule talk too. And I mean, reading it, so I'm taking a look at a article from earlier in the year. Shout out to Derek Duke for writing this one. This talks about like the best and worst matchups of the Big 12 schedule. So there are like, so the best non-con game I will look out for is Arizona State at Kyle Field against Texas A&M. I don't know if you had any thoughts about that one. You're muted, by the way.
Man, sorry.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
no. So that matchup right there when you're talking about them going to Texas A&M, definitely going to be interesting and a statement game for the Big 12.
yeah. So it's like you're obviously hoping that Arizona State can compete with Texas A&M, but I don't know. Like, oh, Kyle Field is a very like I don't know. Is it still like one of the top places, or is it a little bit overrated considering what has been like put on the field by A&M, a former Big 12 team?
Yeah, they're a little bit overhyped. I love that little war hymn that they do,
Yeah,
but
I mean, some people find
otherwise,
that corny,
yeah, it is a little bit corny,
a
if you
little bit
ask me.
corny, and like, and I know some people like Twitter called it a little zesty to say the least. Nah, it's the nicest way I could put it. Yeah, but I mean, it is a pretty unique thing for them. But I mean, I guess I mean, there's not really much. This is like kind of the off season. It feels like weird, but I guess while I mean, I'm looking at basically the Big 12 schedule. So just seeing some of the matchups here. I think we kind of talked about the schedule a while ago. So I guess we might
Well,
as
let's
well.
take a look at. I mean, we might as well. It's options. Let's take a look at it because I mean, obviously, right now we're going to be prepping for football talk,
Yep.
but that's not for another few weeks. But
Yep.
yeah,
So so this is the Big 12 conference schedule. So this doesn't have any of the non-con games. I have to go find like all the Big 12 non-con games, but the Big 12 schedule starts in week 2, where Arizona will be heading to Provo to take on BYU. Week 3, you've got Houston in Lubbock against Texas Tech, and then this is the London game, Kansas against Arizona State, and then and then week 4 is the first kind of major week of Big 12 play. Colorado, Baylor, TCU, UCF, K State, Cincinnati. Yeah, this in there. Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and then Utah at Iowa State. So I think this would probably be an early test, but I'm curious. I guess for both teams, really, because both teams are going to have new coaches. Considering Utah is like replacing Kyle Whittingham, obviously we replaced Matt Campbell with Jimmy Rogers. So this, I think, at one point felt like a good measuring stick. But I'm curious to see what Utah is going to look like
I mean,
post Whittingham.
honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if we get the because experience is going to matter in this conference. I wouldn't be surprised if we get the same two teams in the conference title game. It could easily be BYU and Texas Tech again.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, Arizona's going to be in what year? Is this going to be the year 3 under Brent Brennan?
Yeah, I think this is going to be year 3 under Brett Brennan, and I mean we
So
saw what they did. Like,
and like you look at week 2, if they can go to Provo and knock off BYU, I mean that could loom large for them. Week 3 is interesting with Houston at Texas Tech. Texas Tech was making a big deal out of the game being on a
potentially,
Friday instead of a Saturday. So,
yeah. So that is going to probably, and plus obviously Willie Fritz. I want to see what like another year Willie Fritz will be for Houston,
yep, year 3
considering
for
their
him as
trajectory.
well.
Yep. So Heading in October, the unofficially official Riot Bowl, West Virginia heads to Ames. Was this what we get? Rich Rod?
Rich Rod and Jimmy Rogers. Interesting matchup. You look at and then you look at the week before K State and at Cincinnati. Um, K State going to Nippert. That's going to be interesting
Yeah,
with Avery Johnson and Colin Klein back at the helm. They haven't been
yeah,
together since 2023
and I'm
when he was
curious to see.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the pulse of K State is going to look like, considering the situation they got with Gene Taylor. So, and the football
Yeah,
program,
man.
they've got their drama going on. So that's been kind of under the radar. Week 6, Iowa State heading to Provo. I well, this is going to
I
be
mean, honestly, bro, like this is gonna like when it comes to the time when we do our schedule prediction show.
yeah,
I like until we know the spring game and we know the actual roster going into fall camp. I honestly don't know when we're gonna be able to accurately like predict the rosters and do a roster breakdown because we we're gonna be unsure of this team. Like I
mhm,
like we said, the last decade we've known we're like okay, these are the players that are gonna be playing. So that we knew what they were about. We don't know what any of these players are gonna be about. So uh, my guess is just as good as yours.
yeah. To skip a little bit to like Halloween weekend, Oklahoma State heading up to Ames. This is basically the Oklahoma State Mean Green, considering they're bringing in the
Yes.
head coach and Drew Mestamaker,
Mm-hmm.
taking on the Iowa State Cougars, bringing in Jimmy Rogers, basically. So
Yeah.
two new coaches to the conference. I'm curious about this one, and that one's going to be something to look out for. Then week 10, the Holy War. Like that's no doubt probably going to
Mm,
be a really fun matchup. Like that's probably the best rivalry currently in the Big 12 conference in football.
yeah. And then you have Okie State at K State. That one's gonna be interesting.
And then we head to rivalry weekend. Uh, by far, this is like going to be the last time Farmageddon is played, which is a damn shame.
Yeah.
How disappointing. But I mean, just kind of. I mean, there's a lot that, and then obviously the Big 12 championship game is being moved to Friday night.
Forgot about that.
So 7 p.m. Central Time on Friday. So it's kind of like that, what is that? Like standalone spot.
Standalone spot.
So, I mean, that's the thing with football, but I mean, it's April. We're not gonna still not know a lot of things about like the football programs just yet, but it's just something to continue talking about. And also got to talk about some kind of like new, like I guess like the head coaching news. Considering we talked
Yeah.
about Iowa State's assistants heading to head coaching jobs, Bill Self had been in like kind of talk like the rumors of Bill Self retiring and
Mm-hmm.
what had been going on the last like few weeks. And then, like, on April Fool's Day also, Kansas posted kind of a like, a quote from Bill Self saying that, he wasn't going anywhere. So this was the tweet from, the Kansas men's basketball account.
Mm-hmm.
Jayhawk Nation, with new clarity and the ongoing support from our administration, I remain focused and committed to Kansas basketball, competing for a national championship. I look forward to seeing and hearing the best fans in college basketball next season out of the halls. And I feel like this is a win for college basketball. Having Bill Self at Kansas for another year, it feels like a win.
Especially with the new generation of coaches coming up. I'm looking to him as an inspiration.
Huh?
Yeah, he's definitely the elder statesman in our league.
Yep. Like we talked about that. Another place that like was like kind of open and where some Big 12 coaches were rumored to go, North Carolina. I think in the last week, TJ Altenberger for Iowa State and Tommy Lloyd of Arizona were both rumored to be in talks
Mm-hmm.
to be the next head coach at North Carolina. TJ Altenberger obviously shut that down and is committed to Iowa State, as was stated by Jay McCullough earlier today. But Tommy Lloyd, I'm curious about this one. In the hypothetical world, does Tommy Lloyd go to in that hypothetical situation, if Tommy Lloyd gets offered to go to North Carolina, I don't know if we talked about this, but do you think he would take the North Carolina job?
They would have to give him an offer that he couldn't refuse. For me, like yeah, like I said, for me, I know if I was in that situation, it'd be an offer that I couldn't refuse. But just I mean, you're all alone out there in the West Coast, and like Arizona could become a really, really big superpower out there. It's in a desirable area where people want to be go to a warm school. I
Yep.
mean, and they're in the Final Four this year.
Mhm.
I mean, you have a chance to basically play for a Final Four every single year you're there.
Mhm.
I stay at Arizona, but like with North Carolina, and they give you that type of those type of resources. I think there's only so many times you can say no.
Yeah. And yeah, so I think for right now, Tommy Lloyd would probably is gonna stay at Arizona, but I wouldn't like
Yeah.
that's something to look out for. But I mean, as of right now, I didn't even realize this. We are basically at the end of the college basketball season because this weekend is the Final Four and national championship game. We already are talking about Arizona. I guess we could talk about their matchup with Michigan.
Yeah, this one is they basically are mirror images of each other. They both have gigantic bigs inside who love to bang on the glass. They have a good guards who can score, and they have both have deep benches. I think the advantage is Arizona's game because I think they have better guards and they have more bench depth than Michigan does.
Hmm.
I do think Arizona's going to win in a close one, but this one is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah. The matchup, I guess I would look for is probably like obviously Yaxel Lendenborg versus like Jaden Bradley, like to see.
Yeah,
But I think, yeah, the guards, I mean, you also have Braden Burries, who's another really good guard. I feel like just the match, like the guard play between Bradley and Burries is better than what Michigan has. And obviously, Ledborg is going to be a problem. Ademara is going to be an issue, but I think Mo Krivas matches up pretty well against Mara. So I'm
oh
excited to
yeah,
see those two go at it. Just two tall dudes just going at each other. And I'm curious to see like how this could go. And this is an opportunity for Arizona. I mean, they got to where they wanted to be, they expected to be, which is the Final Four, so they could check that off their box, but you know they're gunning for more. They're gunning for a national championship.
yeah.
To do that, they're gonna have to get past Michigan, and yeah, I think I have this as a close game, but for pride, I think Arizona is able to, like, really, edge this game out and, beat Michigan, and they're on to the national championship.
Now, who do you have them facing?
Yeah, that's something, like, talk about. UConn, I mean, UConn coming off that, like, obviously that like that comeback and miraculous win against Duke, and I mean they're feeling good. Obviously, UConn like they're dangerous always. Illinois, it they went. I mean, Iowa gave them a run for their money,
They
but
sure
Illinois was
did.
able to pull away. So I look at that game. That one's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking at the opening lines. Illinois is like a 1.5 point favorite. This does feel like a pick 'em, but I I mean, I saw like a tweet where it basically said if UConn gets past the first weekend, they go on to win the national championship. But also, there was something I saw as well where whoever beats Duke in the NCAA tournament loses the next game. So something's got to
Mm,
give there.
definitely.
So that one's gonna be fun. I just think I feel like Illinois. I think Illinois may have the edge in that one
Yeah,
because like
I'm picking Illinois to win that one.
I'm taking it's literally just the Balkans versus UConn.
The Balkans versus UConn. I think the Balkans will win.
Yeah. And then, so the national championship for both of
Yeah.
us would be Arizona, Illinois, and I like Arizona. I like Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, so there, if it's Arizona, Illinois, this goes. Arizona owes them payback for 2005, the Elite Eight, where Arizona was up double digits with a few minutes to go, and Illinois I think went on like a 10-0 run to tie the game,
Yeah,
and Illinois ended up winning in overtime. The game was at Allstate Arena over by O'Hare, so basically it was a home game for Illinois. Probably it's basically gonna be the same thing since the Champaign is like closer to Indianapolis than it is Chicago.
yeah,
So like Arizona, Illinois, I really would like that natty, but Arizona, UConn would be a rematch from the regular season. But I'd still expect Arizona to cut down the nets.
yeah. I have that, and so that I mean that will probably be probably pretty good for the Big 12, obviously, because obviously a lot of the talk in this tournament has been how well the Big 10 has done. But if Arizona wins the Natty, I think that shuts off that narrative.
It sets off that narrative and it makes it that much harder to win the Big 12 next year.
Yeah, because I mean it's like, so the overall, this is gonna be like a pretty. This is gonna be pretty fun Final Four.
Definitely. It wasn't like obviously it was sort of chalk, but like no lie, we got so many good matchups in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. So
Yeah,
I'm not complaining.
yeah. I mean, obviously, we wish that Iowa State had gone further, like gone to the
Sure.
Elite Eight. That would have been really nice. But I mean, we'll have to see what Iowa State does to address the issues and like kind of come back next year. And hopefully, with the freshman class that we bring in, and I mean the development of like of what we had with Bateman, Torrey, and Blada, and then who if Milan does return, because that's probably going to be the number one thing for Iowa State. If Milan Momcilovic returns, that really helps Iowa State.
It brings up their ceiling. And senior year Milan with Christian Wiggins and Jamarian Bateman and Torre and a Plata who can hit a mid-range shot
Oh dear
with a
God.
stronger Buchanan,
Huh? Yeah, imagine Plato goes down that Dirk route.
baby.
There's no better way for a German to develop his game than model it after Dirk a little bit.
I don't even know if that happens. I don't even know how you would even guard this team. It's like,
Double Dirk fades.
to stop playing with me, man.
Yeah, yeah. So that's fun. But I mean, I guess like I think that's probably a good place to end it. It's just like this is just
Yeah,
a lot of things. So it's ongoing, but this was a little bit therapeutic and yeah, so really good to kind of talk about. And I mean, this got me excited for football, no doubt.
yeah, man. I like as much as I love basketball, football has always been my first love. So just looking at that Coach Bobbitt video
Hmm.
when him coaching the linebackers and stuff, I'm really, really excited to see what unfolds of this football team. And I cannot wait to be there
Yep.
on April 25th. Cyclones fans, make sure you're there on April 25th for the football showcase. So make sure the doors open at 10:30. Make sure to be there. I will be there. If you see me, come say hi.
All right.
All right. Go ahead, Cody. What
Yeah,
did you say?
I think it opens at 10 a.m. The showcase will start at
Yeah.
10:30.
Yep. So put that on your calendars right now. All right, guys. We are going to end today's show. Thank you guys for listening to the Believe in Iowa State podcast, watching the Believe in Iowa State podcast. A big thanks to FanDuel. Obviously, right now it's the beginning of baseball season. Put those bets in on same game parlays. Also, the win totals are out for football right now for the Big 12. So be prepared. We're probably going to be doing win totals for each. I know we had a good listenership on those shows, so watch out for that. You can find Cody on Twitter at Joshua
Well,
Jefferson's ankle boot, but I think it's changed again.
yes, it is officially Tia propaganda. So Nelly Tia propagandist. Yeah, I'm on the volleyball, and Christy Johnson which we trust.
Yeah, so that's where you can find him at. You can find me on Twitter at SciTech Guy. If you want to chat me up. Follow us on social media. Follow us what we're doing there. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. The Twitch handle for Bleav in Iowa State for Twitch is Bleav in ISU 2025. That is today's show for Tyler Carter.
And for Cody Van Salem,
This is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
go Cyclones. All right. Good show. I think my family's calling me for dinner, so I'm gonna go ahead and have that. We're having lobster tonight.
Ooh, fancy.
Yep. Yeah. So take care, and I think I might see you there at the spring showcase. I'll try to go to that.